All right, you guys, another gorgeous Southern California day, and today I find myself with pretty interesting gentleman here, Mallory Hill. Mallory, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, man?
Good, good, good. Hey, first of all, thank you for your time, man. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. You know, when I first started hearing your story, I thought, dude, I gotta capture this story, you know, because you came up to my shop and you started talking about the fact that you had just gone to the Silverado campout, met some people, and you know, you're kind of a personal guy, you know, easy to get along with. And the more we chatted, I started hearing your story. So I gotta hear it, man. Tell me about these wild adventures that you're on, and we'll do a tour of your bus here in a little bit.
So this trip is being down here where I grew up is culmination of 11 states that I've done with the van, and I did a total of about 5,500 miles so far. When I go back up to NorCal, we'll be closer to 6,000 miles.
Okay.
And I've had this for 18 years.
Wow.
And I restored this one for my 50th birthday. I bought 4 buses.
No way.
I was making a point to my kids that I'd never had more fun than in a bus.
Uh-huh.
So my affection for this one and this color, my girlfriend, when I was a student at Berkeley, her dad took European delivery on one, and the family traveled for 3 months. In Europe, they brought it back, and I loved borrowing it. So I had a really beautiful little Porsche and eggplant color aubergine that was a Targa that I would trade the doctor to take his daughter out camping in this. And he was happy
Really?
to borrow my Porsche.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So a lot of great memories, same color scheme, the same thing when I saw this one. I bought a 78 Mexico beige, I bought a 63 Safari, a totally cherry Mexico beige 63 Safari, and then a 72 two-tone panel.
Wow.
And that's the only one I ended up with because I was using it the most. The gearing and everything else, I like to travel on it.
So, Mallory, what year is this one?
79.
Okay, all right. So less of the German ones, at least the bay window. So engine, is it a 2-liter?
It's a 2-liter engine with the different heads on it that breathe easier and rev higher.
Nice, nice. So, I mean, dude, you're putting on a ton of miles on this thing. So where are you originally from? You mentioned you went to Berkeley?
Yeah, I grew up here in Southern California.
Okay.
And I ended up going to Westminster High School and then Orange Coast College for a year.
Okay.
Lived on the peninsula, had a blast. And then I went to Berkeley. I was actually accepted as a freshman year, but I wanted to take it easy the first year.
Nice.
So I transferred up there as a sophomore.
Uh-huh.
And I've lived in the Bay Area off and on since Cal, but I bought a home in Corona del Mar, have a home in Tahoe, and I travel a lot. I had a business in New York and one in London, and homes there, and traveled wherever the business took me.
Dude.
And now this is my retirement activity. I ski between 80 and 100 days every season.
Oh my gosh.
I skied at 16 resorts on this trip.
Okay.
Using the Icon and Epic passes, you just show up and you don't have to buy a pass, so it's pretty cool. So I've been camping in all these ski resorts in this thing.
No way.
It was 18 below zero 2 nights in Jackson Hole. And inside the van, a gallon bottle of spring water froze solid. That's how cold it was inside.
Oh my God.
So that was my system for knowing how cold it was. What froze determined how cold it was.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, so I guess I was going to ask, but I'm guessing you don't have one of those diesel heaters that people have been putting in their buses.
No, and I learned at the camp, that was the first event I'd been to.
Okay.
And I was there for 3 nights, and everybody was great, and they're like, dude, I was telling them the story about freezing my ass off on the bus. So they go, you need a heat buddy.
Yeah, you do, definitely, man.
So that'll happen next time. You know, I could always invite a girl to be my heat buddy.
There you go.
There might be upside to that too.
I think there's definitely an upside to that. That is awesome, man. So you're cruising around skiing, and you know what? In fact, I mean, right now you actually happen to come by the shop, and you and your friend are actually where are you going now?
We're going to stop and see a friend in Santa Monica.
Okay.
Then we're driving up the coast to his brother's house in Santa Barbara.
Beautiful.
And then from there, we're going to go up to our Lake Tahoe homes.
Dude, that's
and it's the camping season is starting up in the mountains now.
Yeah. No,
but this thing did really well in the snow. Never had to put chains on.
Okay.
In all those rocky states, you know, all the way up Montana, Idaho, everything. thing was just fine. And it's just this conversation starter. Everybody in the ski area, or if you go to Huntington Pier or San Clemente Pier, everybody wants to talk to you if you're in a bus.
Isn't that the truth, man? I'm telling you, you go to a show, there's always conversations, people have stories, and it's really cool that you've had this for as long as you have, because I mean, you know, some people, they'll have buses, it's like, how long have you had it? Oh, I've had it 5 years, 6 years, you know, but rarely do you see somebody that's had it almost a couple of decades, you know?
So last year for my trip, I took one of my old Porsches. This was an 85 928S, and I took that on the ski thing.
Okay.
And that meant you're not sleeping in the car. You don't have that freedom. And this year, when the Porsche was parked next to this one, and I'm getting ready to go on the ski trip, and I think, you know what? I'm going to get this thing registered in Montana, which is what I did. I went to my buddy's ranch, and this is going to have Montana plates now.
Okay.
And Montana's great because they don't charge you every year like California does. I get a lifetime plate for under $300.
Dude.
And I think Montana plates are cooler than California plates now.
Wow. There's going to be a lot of people up in Montana looking out for you now, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, this is awesome, man. So, okay, so before we did this interview, you were kind enough to go ahead and send me a little bit of background on you, and I was checking it out. Now, I mean, man, dude, you're a pilot?
Yeah.
Right, okay. And I mean, I've seen some of the things that you've flown, like the P-51 Mustang. That's awesome. How did that whole career start, the whole pilot thing?
I wanted to fly as a kid, and my dad talked me out of going to the Air Force Academy. I got my appointment. My dad was ended up being a high-level CIA guy, but he survived Iwo Jima as a 19-year-old 3rd Division Marine, and most of the people in his battalion got killed. So he was like that guy in Saving Private Ryan, where he's trying to make his life worth something, and he went on to do big things. I'm one of 8. But he discouraged me from working for the government or the military.
Okay.
Probably because most of his friends, he watched him get killed and had to keep fighting for another 37 days. But anyway, I started flying when I was 16 out of Meadowlark Airport in Huntington Beach.
No way.
And used to fly to Catalina when I was a senior in high school. It was pretty cool. So I went to Berkeley, and my first major was forestry. And then I realized I wanted to go into econ of business, and my dad he was a captain of their 2 biggest spy ships for the CIA.
Wow.
And so he spoke a few languages. He encouraged me to study those. So at Berkeley, I also became fluent at Spanish, French, and German, in addition to doing econ and business.
Wow.
So I had a job offer with the CFO of Chevron. It's a fraternity brother's father. And I didn't want to take that job because my girlfriend, whose father had this, wanted to get married.
Okay.
So I applied for Pan Am. In those days, you could start in flight service as a steward, and they'd move you into the cockpit when they were hiring. So I started with Pan Am in 1979.
No way.
And I was based in Honolulu, in New York, and London.
Wow.
And had a great time flying.
I can imagine.
Was in the cockpit a lot with those guys, but they weren't hiring. And then after 4 years, I just pivoted and went into commercial real estate in San Francisco.
Nice.
After 4 years of that, I pivoted to Wall Street, and I spent 10 years with a couple big investment banks. And then I broke out on my own. And so I have a lot of friends. Well, the company we had in London, we sold it to Merrill Lynch for a really good amount of money. Everybody was happy with that.
Cool.
I still have all those dear friends in Europe. I keep 2 motorcycles over there, one in England and one in France. So I go over there a lot, probably 2 or 3 times a year.
Okay.
And some of my friends over there, keeping the bikes there, they're into bikes and they're into classic cars too. So we have the same interests in different places.
That's so cool, man. What a life, you know? I mean, that very, very impressive. It's funny when I read about Pan Am, a lot of people always ask me, you know, I'd mentioned to you that I grew up in Guatemala, and people always say, hey, how'd you come here? And I'll say 747. Back in the 70s was when they were actually flying a 747. It was the glory days of flying. That's my only connection to Pan Am, so that's all I got. But no, seriously, what an impressive life, man. I mean, I think the coolest thing is the fact that you're having so much fun. And you know, for someone that's been as successful as you have been, it's really cool to see you cruising in a bus, which is awesome, man. This is your choice.
It is my choice. It's my first choice.
No, I think it is so cool. Would you mind opening the sliding door? I want to show people just how you are loaded up. And you guys are heading up. Check it out, you guys. Skis, ready to rock, boots. I mean, just, this is cool.
Bocce balls.
I love it, man. No, I'll tell you, this is definitely, when you talk about retiring, this is how I want to do it. You know, this is definitely fun. I love this color, by the way. This is by far one of my favorite colors. So this.
Yeah,
this
when you
is
park
awesome,
it in
man.
the trees in springtime, up in the forest and stuff, that they're glowing that bright green.
Oh yeah,
The spring new growth.
dude. I mean,
But I park this in the wine country all the time, right between vines. I don't even care whose vineyard it is. Just have a little picnic and spend the night.
That's
No one's
so
ever
cool.
busted me.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, here's the thing. It's like usually when people see buses, you know, they think, you know, fun, happy people. And then obviously someone like you, obviously you've got a very outgoing personality, so it's going to be pretty easy to go ahead and chat with you. So now with all of the adventures and everything that you've done, I mean, what's next for you?
Working on a reality TV show product.
Okay.
That is based on me introducing the audience to my interesting friends around the world.
Oh, that's cool.
That have pivoted to their passion.
Oh, that's
That
awesome.
have started in one thing and moved on, and then had their epiphany, and they're truly following their passion. So this is one of mine, and I have a few, and we're doing crazy stuff like flying gyrocopters and doing aerobatics in airplanes and jumping off cliffs and skis, scuba diving, cliff diving.
That's awesome, man. Now, what do your kids say about this? Are they ever kind of like, hey, Dad, you might want to, you know, we love you. We might want you around a little bit longer?
My kids, I have 5, and they all have done really well. My daughter is a champion ultramarathoner. She was a track star at Berkeley, where I went, made me proud. The 3 boys all went to different schools, but they're each captain of their rugby teams at each one of the schools. They're out being productive right now. And then my little guy, we used to call him Scud, like the low-flying missile, because he was a sneak attack by an ex-girlfriend.
He what?
Yeah, and his name is Reese. And for his 16th birthday, he just got his license. I gave him one of my classic Jaguars.
Ah. Now, when you say
So
classic,
we were driving
what
around
year?
in that yesterday.
What year is the Jag?
It's a 2002 Van and Plow, their top-of-the-line car.
Very cool. Very cool. That is awesome, man. Well, congratulations. I mean, seriously, dude. I think when people say, "Oh man, he's living it up," you definitely are. You know, and I think when you meet people like you and you hear the stories, I mean, I think it's very inspirational. That's why I wanted to go ahead and share it. You know, I think it's awesome. Considering that everything that you've achieved, gone through, what would you say? Would you be willing to share one of your most challenging moments in life? What would that be?
It would be when my second son was stillborn and he did not have oxygen for almost 30 minutes, and they revived him.
Wow.
So that I was doing Lamaze birth of the help, and knowing that he had not been breathing for a long time and he was stuck in the womb was a very difficult moment. And the doctor pulled me out in the hall. I had to scream for help. They brought in a team of people to help get the baby out. The doctor pulled me out afterwards. They tried reviving him, and it wasn't working, so they took him away. The doctor came to me and said, "We revived him, but you need to be, if he does survive, be prepared for a special needs child." So I went to the phone. I called my Wall Street firm. I was a partner in the investment bank, and I said, "I got to cash in my chips," and I quit right then.
Wow.
And so he was a special needs child for a couple of years, and he's completely normal now.
What?
So I wore him on my chest for 18 months. He had a really tough childhood with colic and a lot of other things. But we got him Eastern medicine. We got him infant chiropractic. We went to all these European doctors and osteopaths. And by the time he was 4 or 5, he was normal.
I mean, dude, that's like a miracle story.
Yeah, he's my miracle boy.
I was not expecting that, but wow, thank you for being so bluntly honest, man. I mean, my other question was going to be, what was one of the happiest days of your life? But I would almost think that's got to be up there.
That's both. That was a high-low.
Yeah. No, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, man, you're a good guy. I love the inspiring story. Love the bus, and I really want to wish you the best, man. Especially with the with the show. I hope that takes off, which would be really, really cool. And just to see you doing some crazy stuff. Now, real quick before I do let you go, you did send me a video clip of you guys. You were with another gentleman in a gyrocopter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bart O'Brien. Yeah.
Okay.
That was the first episode of the show, and what you saw was our teaser reel.
Yeah. What happened, man?
We flew his gyrocopter out over the Golden Gate Bridge, and I was making a joke to start with about why we're wearing inflatable life preservers, as if we're going to have to ditch in the bay and become possibly shark food, and that's exactly what happened. But when the engine burned up and we had to auto rotate down, and we missed the bay by a couple hundred yards.
No
and landed
way.
in Carneros region of Napa.
Wow.
But then we made it back to Bart's house. We had a long hike, and then somebody picked us up. He had to go get the gyrocopter later. We managed drinking a couple bottles of his 98-point Merlot at his winery. O'Brien Winery in Napa. But that's the crazy shit I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
There's interesting people out there. I want to introduce the world to them.
That's awesome, man. Well, it's, like I said, man, good luck to you on that. I appreciate your time. I know you got to hit the road, and I hope I catch you in the future, and maybe we can do another video and see, about your whereabouts then. So,
okay. Sounds
awesome,
great.
man. Awesome. Thank you, Mallory. I appreciate it. I'm going to walk around your bus real quick to show everybody what this bad boy looks like. And you just had it detailed, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, this thing is cool. Definitely cool. Ah, how fun, man. Well, this is going to be great. What a treat. All right, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this story.